my state, this is my team. You know what that means. This is for the black and blue that I bleed. This is for the chance to bring home that ring. But everybody gonna doubt this. So far there ain't been another way around it. We bring heat to the game each week. They just say we ain't got what it takes, we ain't bout it. Well, y'all can just keep saying that we ain't gonna make it, but at the end of the day, this will be the Panthers nation. You know, this ain't a game to us major players at every angle that you can think of. That's why you hate us. Get out the way of greatness. You can look at our faces and see the blood, sweat, and tears that it took to create this. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but you can save it. Cause even on the darkest of days, you know we're always gonna find a way to tell them what we gonna do, we gotta have a 3rd and 10. Here comes pressure, and they've gotten to him. The ball is out in the end zone, and it's recovered by Malik Jackson for the touchdown. Rushing forward, ball comes out of the hands of Newton. It's on the ground, and still on the ground. Picked up by T.J. Ward at the 4-yard line.
You can't keep a guy who is beholden to hitting home runs. He's not accurate, he's not precise, and he's uneven emotionally. That's exactly what he is. I don't think Cam's a great quarterback. I think we've seen the best of Cam. And the best of Cam's still not overly accurate, average passer rating. Don't tell me he doesn't have players around him. Kelvin Benjamin's great. Jonathan Stewart, good running back. Tremendous defense, especially front seven. I'm not saying not talented.
Your offensive line was suspect. Your running game was suspect. The receivers that you gave him to work with, even with Kelvin Benjamin coming back, he didn't live up to snuff. All of these things are a reality. And then on top of it all, you compromise the defense because you let Josh Norman walk out the door to the Redskins, knowing good and damn well you didn't have a viable replacement for him at the cornerback.
Blah, blah, blah. They talk all that trash. And look where we at, man. Yo. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Y'all know I got a special stream for y'all tonight. We're celebrating for 2 reasons. 1, the Falcons lost one of their 2 games that they cannot afford to lose today. Number 2, Steve Wilks is in serious conversations with the Carolina Panthers to remove the interim tag and become a permanent head coach for the Carolina Panthers. Let's go! Yes! That's the news we've been waiting on right there. Let's go, folks. So today we're going to be discussing how the Carolina Panthers can make the playoffs in 2022. I was originally going to do a mock draft stream along with this, but you know, it's late nights, and I'm probably not going to have the energy for that, because that takes a lot out of me. Shout out to Lock Poppy, Vietnam, The Real Zero Chill, Python Knight. What's up, y'all? Shout out to y'all, man. We're only doing this stream on YouTube today because I want to show everybody, you know, not just talk about it, but show everybody the path that it's going to take to get to the playoffs and stay in the playoffs. So in order to do that, we're going to be relying on the help of the ESPN playoff machine. And I thought it was working, but apparently it's not. One momento. Tech issues. Could have sworn I fixed that before the stream. There we go. Fixed. Alright. Alright. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. Now, in order to get into the playoffs, we know that Tampa Bay is, for now, leading the division. And we know that these teams have won today. Now, I'm going to tell you which ones are the most important ones and why. I've done a little bit of homework on this, so bear with me, because this is going to be an adventure for the people that have never done this before or have never seen me do this before. Alright, so using the playoff machine, we've got weeks 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 here. Now, they're not going to show the playoff predictions. You know, once you get into the playoffs, those, they wait until like week 17 or 18 to put those up. However, this is a pretty cool engine here that they've put together, and this has been out here for years. That it usually shows up off machine, and typically the ESPN will pop up first. That's typically how that works. But all right, let's officially get started. With what we know today. Now, a lot of these games are not going to affect us directly. And the reason I say that is because we are gunning for that number 4 seed right here. Right where the Bucks are, right there. And that's our goal. As of right now, excuse me, yawning here. I'm trying to straighten up here and work for y'all. Been a busy but productive day. Alright, the biggest game of today is this Atlanta loss that went in favor of Pittsburgh. And the reason I say that, Atlanta is skating on thin ice. If they lose one more with their 5-8 record, we sneak up there and we're in contention. That means if we take care of business, we could get in. Now I'm going to show you on this playoff machine what happens with each win or loss that happens, including the ones that don't directly impact us. If you care about the AFC in this one, that's fine. We'll go back and re-look at those, but right now I'm only focused on the NFC picture and what's about to happen here in the next few weeks. Because there's going to be a lot of different matchups that are going to matter. But it starts with this one. Pittsburgh wins. Alright, so Dallas beats the Colts. We know this. We know that already. Chiefs actually beat the Chargers today. Interesting. And I saw something very interesting about the Bengals today as well. They have not lost at home to the Chiefs since the 80s. Since 1980s. That's remarkable, folks. You don't see that every day in the NFL, where a streak goes that long. I mean, maybe the Jets, but that's the Jets, though. San Francisco beating the Dolphins was a very, very interesting win there. Seattle beating the Rams. Now, Seattle matters because Seattle is gunning for the 3rd seed. It's either going to be San Fran or it's going to be the Seahawks in this 3rd seed at the end of this. Now, I've shown some of you the picture of it, of the final results of what we're looking at. But, again, it's the NFL, and a lot of wacky things have happened this year. So we're going to try to predict this. We're going to see how this goes, but we can't guarantee anything, obviously. A lot of these predictions went the way I thought they would. I did not expect Pittsburgh to get that win over the Falcons. That was very interesting. So, in effect, we're kind of ahead of schedule. And I'll show you why in a minute. Baltimore over Denver. Green Bay over the Bears. Lions over the Jags. Expected that. Browns over the Texans. Expected that. Vikings over the Jets. Now, I did not know who was going to win that one. That was a 50-50 toss-up right there. And that was a heck of a battle. I watched the end of that, by the way. What a titanic battle. And the most interesting game out of this entire listing today was the Washington and the Giants game tie in overtime. Now that I did not expect. The Giants have a lot more push than I thought they did. And that's really interesting there. I would have thought Washington would have won that one by 7. But apparently not. Alright, so here's where things start to matter. Now, when we pull for the Saints on Monday night, here's what this does. That's one of the losses that Tampa Bay is going to take. Now notice, New Orleans pops up to 4-8. Projected 5-8 at that point. Tampa Bay would be 5-7. Atlanta is sitting at 5-8. We're sitting at 4-8. Meaning we are just a game behind everybody. Just one game separates us from this entire crew. That's humongous. Now, if Tampa wins this, here's what happens. 6-6, they separate themselves from the entire division. And we are still stuck behind the Falcons and the Tampa Bay Bucks. But the Saints drop to last place with a 4-9 record. This is why this game matters as much as it does. This is a key game in the map that I'm about to show you guys. This is a key game in the map I'm about to show you. So, in the grand scope of things, the Giants and Commanders game doesn't really affect us specifically. Because this is a wild card battle, really, for Washington. They're battling for wild card at the end of the road. Now, let's assume the Saints win. This is what I think is going to happen. I'm pretty doggone sure of it. ESPN is predicting a win by the Saints, pretty much. Last I checked. I don't think that's going to change. You know, Tampa has not broken 20 points all year long. I don't think they're going to do it again. They only did it once. And I don't think they're going to do it again. I think that was a fluke. Now, let's assume Dallas beats the Colts, which they will. Alright, so we're moving on to week 14. This is where things will start to get dicey. The big games here that are going to directly impact us, of course, is us winning against the Seahawks, which will happen. I got absolute faith that we will win that game. Not beat the Seahawks at this point. Defensively, we've got that battle won. All we got to do is go out there and play like we normally play. As far as offensively, we're starting to figure that out. So, from my perspective, I see a win there. Yes, the Seahawks are 7-5. Excuse me. Yes, they are putting up 26.5 points per game. But look at the average allowed. Look at the average allowed. 25.3. That's what I want to show people. While they may have the 9th ranked offense, they've still got the 30th ranked defense. And that is what is going to cost them this game. And give us the win. Now, considering we get this win, what else has to go right in order in this week specifically? San Fran and the Bucks. Now, San Fran's defense has been playing excellently well. And if San Fran wins this thing, guess where we end up? First place, baby. I told y'all, have some faith. Have some faith. We are not done yet. I've been trying to tell people that. We are not done yet. Not by a long shot. Steve Wilkes said it too. We are not done. And this is the proof right here. We get that win against Seattle. San Fran wins over the Bucks. They take 2 losses. We're in. We got first place. Now, here's also something that could impact us. The other game that I'm tracking this particular week, or 2 games, is the Eagles beating the Giants and the Dallas Cowboys beating the Texans. Now look who we got in 5th seed here. We got the Dallas Cowboys, which means an early exit for us if we play the Cowboys first. The 2 teams that I do not feel confident that we are ready to face yet are the Cowboys and the Vikings. And the reason I say that is we need to be battle tested before we play either one of them. Then I will feel like we have a shot at going further. But for now, we're going to continue to track Philadelphia and Dallas. That first seed versus 5th seed battle here going on. While we do that, the Bills will beat the Jets. The Raiders will beat the Rams. Chiefs will beat the Broncos. they're not going to be happy about losing to the Bengals again. So, yeah, Chiefs will win that one. Dolphins will come back. I've got the Patriots over the Cards. I've got the Titans over the Jags at this point. I've got... That's going to be a tight battle right there. I think Baltimore wins. But it's going to be close. It's going to be real close. Because Pittsburgh is not playing like a typical 5-17 at this point. They have some gritty defense, man. They really have some gritty defense. We're going to have to bear down if we want to beat Pittsburgh on defense. We could do it, though. They don't score more than 20 points, typically. And today was kind of the exception a little bit, but not really. It felt like another 20-point game from Pittsburgh, really. So, not impressive, but they got the win. Lions and the Vikings. Now, here's why this one matters. That second seed pretty much belongs to the Vikings at this point. If the Lions somehow sneak one in, that's still a 10-3 record. So I'm not concerned about that game. So we're going to go ahead and give that one to the Vikings because I think they're going to win that one. They just battled the Jets and took them down. So I feel pretty confident Minnesota's going to win that game. Because of the Lions' defense being bad. Okay, so we go to the Bengals. Obviously, we give that win to the Bengals. All right, so there are your Week 14 predictions. With us in first place. With, guess what? A 5-8 record. Who would have thought that might be possible, right? Let's assume all of those things happen. Because they probably will. Pretty good chance of it. Week 15. How y'all feeling so far? Y'all liking this so far? You liking our chances? Because right now, I'm feeling pretty frisky about our chances right now. And let me tell y'all something. They predicted us at 10% with playoff chance. 10%. I just want to show y'all how crazy this could get. Okay? These are possible wins. Realistic wins that can and will happen. Because of how crazy the NFL is this year. I mean, you can't predict this. You can't predict all these crazy upsets that are going to happen. Unless said teams have patterns that you could follow. Such as Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh, who have not scored more than 20 points. Those are the points I'm trying to make. Now, I'm going to go to chat before I continue here. Python Knight says, really annoying tie with the Giants and Commanders. Yeah, I was kind of wondering what was going on with that game. That was a very interesting tie. And while it doesn't impact us, it's still very interesting to keep an eye on. Because it impacts that fifth seed in the playoffs. Or sixth seed, my mistake. Sixth seed. Right there. So, 6th and 7th seed, they're going back and forth here. So this is going to get real interesting. By the end of this, I think Washington gets that playoff spot and the Giants don't. Vietnam says, and all Panthers fans will say that at least we went to the playoffs and lost the last that year when we could have had a top quarterback from the draft. There's a lot more to it, Vietnam. The end game here is trying to get Steve Wilks hired as a head coach permanently. That's the end game. I'm not after a Super Bowl trophy in the first year. I don't care about that. Because I know we can't get there. We don't have the weaponry. Not in year 1 of Steve Wilks. But in years 2 and 3, with the right depth and the right players, and the right drafting and the right free agency, getting out of cap trouble, this could become a lot more realistic towards 23 and 24. 23, I don't know that it will be possible to go all the way to 23, but if we somehow manage to do it, I'm not going to complain. Not at all, because we'll be ahead of schedule. I'm thinking 24, with a fully fleshed out team, with depth, money, and players. All 3 factors, and a head coach that can coach every bit of it and win consistently, showing leadership and locker room chemistry and accountability. That's what we're gunning for here. This is more than just a playoff trip, folks. Yes, this helps the fans. You know, it makes them feel better. But there's another goal in mind. When you win and you get to the playoffs, that brings in ticket sales, number 1. That brings in merch sales, number 2. Food and ticket, food and merchandise sales. And VIP tickets, as well as PSL tickets. This brings in money. Point blank. That is what we're after here. That's the goal. With money, we could wipe out that cap debt. Or we could at least make a huge dent in it. This money has to pay these players' salaries. Okay? Now, I'm not saying it will directly impact our cap. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, with more people buying tickets and buying the merch, it could go to these players' salaries, dude. It could eventually trickle down to there. And that's what's important. We need to sign these guys. We need to keep these guys in Carolina that are doing what they're doing right now as the fundamental building blocks. And as of right now, I've been informed that everybody's been signed except for 3 players right now. And that is Bozeman, Foreman, and Matt Iniditis. Am I correct? Am I correct, folks? Can anybody confirm that? That's what I'm hearing. I have not been able to confirm that over any type of official social media right now. So I'm kind of waiting to find out if that's true or not. But money goes to these players' salaries. Any type of ticket sales that helps out the cap. So we really do need this. And yes, it would absolutely help the fans and show confidence in Steve Wilks. Someone actually did point out that we haven't played anybody this year. I'm going to get to that point in a little bit after showing y'all our playoff path. I'll get to that point in a little bit because I got an entire 15-minute spiel on that alone. Just on that topic alone. we'll get there. But yes, the money will impact what we're doing in the future. So you got two goals. You got money, and you got making sure that Steve Wilkes is permanent head coach. Okay? 2 playoff wins at the end of this road, which is what I'm seeing in an NFC Championship appearance, should be enough to get Steve Wilkes hired permanently. That's what I'm hoping for. And we're already in talks. So, that's the good news coming from the management right now. We will await what that result is. In the meantime, Giants almost won but missed their field goal. That is true. Baltimore game depends on if Lamar Jackson plays. Well, we already played Baltimore, so you're talking about that matchup, right? That matchup from Week 14 against the Steelers? Yes, that is correct. That will depend on Lamar. If he plays her, then that will go to the Ravens, I think. If he does not, that's a Steelers win. That's how that impacts the playoff picture over there in the AFC. Pretty big movement there between that 3rd and 6th seed, man. Ooh-wee. Bengals are trying to rely on a little bit of help here. They're fighting between that 3rd and 5th seed right now. So, I got my eye on that one. That could get interesting. The tie impacts the Lions. That is correct, Python. You are correct. Let us take a look at how that impacts the Lions. Now, the Lions are trying for a spot in the playoffs, probably 7th seed, wild card spot. Now, if they keep winning, there's a pretty good shot they get it. And the reason this is important is Detroit could really, really become a wrecking ball in the NFC playoff picture. This could be bad for us. Especially seeing as I'm not even 100% sure we're going to actually win that game against the Lions in regular season. So just think about that. If we end up matching up against them 2nd round, that's an early exit. We don't want that. So I'm really, really hoping that if somebody... Well, the Lions would be facing the Vikings here, or whoever encounters that 2nd seed. Whoever ends up right there is going to face the Lions if the Lions get in. They're not moving up from 7th, so we don't have to worry about that. However, they could play the dark horse role. And that's very, very dangerous going forward. So we don't want the Lions in. It makes it very frustrating. You are correct, Python. Seeing the Falcons lose was amazing. Yes. The Falcons can afford one more loss. And like I said, man, it's a crazy world we live in. Because, like I said, Tampa losing right there to the 49ers puts us in the driver's seat. Temporarily. We're still going to need help. Notice that we are still tied up with Tampa Bay for first, and New Orleans, and Atlanta. All of them 5-8. But guess who has the division lead? Because we've already beaten Atlanta once, the Saints once, and Tampa once. All three of them. Is my mic working okay? Alright, let me bump it up. Is it working now? Is it better? QT0, thank you very much for letting me know that. Appreciate it. I'll just have to get closer to the mic, I guess. Python says our remaining games are the Vikings, Jets, Bears, Packers, and Panthers. Yes. I will show you what happens going into Week 15, knowing all of this, okay? Week 15, important games. We need to beat the Steelers, obviously. Notice how Dallas is still there at that 5th seed. Notice how the Giants are still there. And Washington is still there. Now that's going to start changing right there in a minute. Because San Fran is actually going to beat the Seahawks. Now if the San Francisco by 1 game behind. So this becomes a real battle here in the West. And I'm not sure who is honestly going to win that battle at the end of this. But this game right here in Week 15, this is going to be a very, very big determining factor. Considering what I've seen from San Francisco right now, I'm going to give it to the 49ers with a 10-4 record. Moving on, you've got the Dolphins and you've got the Bills. I've got the Bills on that one. The Ravens and the Browns. And frankly, I don't even think it depends on Lamar Jackson again. You know, if Lamar plays that game, then I give it to the Ravens. Doesn't affect us really. Again. So, Vikings over the Colts. Vikings are awful. We'll come back to that Falcons-Saints game in a minute. Because that's about to matter again. You got the Giants against Washington again. Now this time Washington's going to win this thing. Because they didn't do it the first time. You got the Eagles over the Bears. Bears are awful. Chiefs over the Texans. Cowboys over the Jags, obviously. The Jets over the Lions in a surprise upset right there, where the Lions failed to get enough points to win that game. Jets have been battle tested. Keep that in mind. Alright, so you got actually I'm gonna give that one to the Broncos. I'm gonna give that one to the Broncos because the Broncos defense has been exceptional lately. It really has. They need to figure out their offense, though. But that could be a surprise upset right there. Keep that in mind. That's not going to impact our picture here. Because Arizona is not in. Yeah, Arizona's sitting down there with a 4-8 record. So they're not in. The Titans are battle-tested enough to handle this one. But again, this year's been pretty wild, so we're going to go with the Chargers. again, doesn't impact us. Now, the Bengals will take down Tampa Bay. That's their third loss, putting them at the bottom of the division. So, you got the Patriots and you got the Raiders. I got to give it to Belichick. Never underestimate Belichick. And the Raiders are due for a fall. Let's be real here. They've been playing on a high winning streak here for a few games, and it's going to drop. The Rams and Green Bay. Green Bay is going to do just enough to win that game. But it's not going to be enough to impact the picture. Now, here's where we come back to this big game right here. This is a massive, massive game. This is probably the biggest game on the map right now that impacts us directly. Now, watch what happens when Atlanta wins. Atlanta ties up with us for first place. Now, imagine for just a moment that we don't pull off this Pittsburgh game. Boom. Do you understand now why this is so important? That we follow this path to the letter on every one of these? Because if we don't, there's a lot of bad things that can happen. But let's assume we get this win over the Steelers. Because they're not scoring more than 20 points, we can handle that with Sam Darnold. I have faith in that. I need Sam battle tested against the Seahawks, though. That's what I need to see. If Sam can prove that he could do this 2 weeks in a row, after a bye as well, then to me, Sam is going to be our third quarterback going into 2023. You're going to have PJ, you're going to have Sam, you're going to have Matt Corral going into 2023. That being said, Sam would ride out the rest of the year because he's a hot quarterback going into Pittsburgh. And I see a win there. So, because of the fact that the Falcons have taken one of their 2 losses, they cannot afford another one. That means that if they drop this Saints game, that drops Atlanta to last place. Third place tie with Tampa Bay with a 5-9 record. That also puts the Saints in a tie with us for first. Meaning we have a direct opportunity to take out the Saints in that last game of the year. This is going to get a little crazier. Hang on to your seats here. This is going to get bumpy. That Jets game right there would take the Lions out of the playoffs for good. They would not be in. So if the Jets win that thing, we don't have to worry about Detroit anymore. Which means we can put our sole focus on either Philadelphia or Dallas at that point, once we get in. Are y'all following so far? You got questions? Jets about beat the Vikings today. Yeah, exactly. Exactly my point, Lock Poppy. If the Jets can almost beat the Vikings, that Lions game should not be a problem for them. I got a lot of faith in the Jets game. In the Jets on that game right there. I got a lot of faith that that's going to happen right there in Week 15. Now, week 16. We're starting to get into week 16 now. It's getting juicier, folks. Jets beat the Jags. All of these things are going to happen. You know, Baltimore is better than the Falcons if Lamar Jackson is playing. That is the Falcons' second loss. That is actually their third loss, and they're done. Falcons are done. 5-10. They will not bother us anymore. Now, we'll come back to this Panthers-Lions game because we all know how this is going to run here, and it's probably not going to end well for us. Bills over the Bears. Saints over the Browns. Even with Deshaun Watson out there, I still got bets on the Saints on that one. Meaning the Saints retake the lead here. Now don't panic. Don't panic, folks. We're still only a game behind. Only by wins. And I'm going to show you why it's going to matter in a little bit. Once you get into 17 and 18. Alright, so the Chiefs win over the Seahawks, essentially knocking the Seahawks out. Vikings beat the Giants, Bengals beat the Pats, Titans beat the Texans. You know, preliminary stuff that we're not even interested in. San Fran beats Washington and pretty much seals up their third seed. Now this is the big one that matters here. This controls seeding of the first and fifth seeding. Notice how tight that record is right there. So if Dallas wins that thing, look how tight that is. I'm telling you, 13-2 versus 12-3. When those two face off again, that's going to get real interesting. I want you to keep a close eye on that matchup right there. Now, we move on to the Steelers and the Raiders. Raiders score more points than the Steelers on a daily basis. Not even hesitant. I'm picking the Raiders. Dolphins over the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is absolutely not having a good year. I just got the Dolphins on that one. Let's be real. Now the Broncos defense is going to make this a really low scoring game, but very careful. Very carefully here. I think I'm going to pick the Broncos. It's going to be a tight one. I don't know who's going to win. It's 50-50 here with these Broncos games. So I'm hesitant to pick any of them, but it doesn't matter. Ultimately, you got Chargers and the Colts. We'll come back to that Tampa game in a second, because that's going to matter in a second. But the Chargers and the Colts, that's a 50-50 one for me. Matt Ryan hasn't exactly been playing his best ball, but that's basically because he doesn't have the offensive line and the weaponry he normally does. And I think if you start building around him, and it's evident when you start building around Matt Ryan, you're going to see a successful Matt Ryan where he just starts slaying the league like he did in 2016. So if the Colts can figure out how to do that, Colts are back in the running, you know. But it's going to take a year or two of building for that to happen. So for now, we're going to pick the Chargers. So this Bucks game, this is one of them that directly impacts us right here. Because this might be one of those games that Tampa might sneak a win in here and upset somebody. So I'm going to go ahead and give Tampa Bay a win there. Why not? You know, it won't impact us at this point because I've already taken their 3 losses. So, but here's what will hit us. Now, let's assume we win this game over the Lions. First place. With a 7-8 record. Tied up with the Saints again. Now, if we take the loss, like I think we will, New Orleans retains that lead temporarily by 1 game. And we're tied up with Tampa Bay for second. But here's the crazy part. If the Cards win over Tampa, guess who's got sole possession of second place? What if the Lions beat the Vikings, though? What if they do? What if they do? In which week? Let's see. Nothing happens. And here's the thing, you know, it's Detroit still so far behind Minnesota, it's not even funny. They can't catch up. So it's not going to matter. I've got the Vikings winning, you know, as far as that goes. But yes, this game right here impacts a lot. We need the Cards to win this one. To solely put us in second place and knock Tampa down. Knock them down. You know, they're not out, but they're knocked down. But like I said, if we win that Lions game, to the victor goes the spoils. So this is why it benefits us to try to win this game. You know, I encourage this team to play their best ball and try to win this Lions game. If we could do it, that's beautiful right there. That's paradise. You know, because we're tied up with the Saints. We got first. Alright, so let's assume the Lions win this game. And we take the 1 loss out of the entire 5-game stretch. Which we're safe to take, actually. And I'll show you why. As you move on into 17 and 18, you got the Cowboys winning there. You know, Atlanta does get one of their wins back. So they're 6 and 10. And let's assume that Pittsburgh maybe mixes things up here and beats Baltimore for one of those two. You never know. It's been a weird year. You never know. Lions beat the Bears, obviously. Jags beat the Texans. Chiefs beat the Broncos. Dolphins beat the Pats. I mean, that's so far so good, right? Giants have a pretty decent team, so I could see them beating the Colts. We'll get into division games here in a minute. But let's keep track of the rest of these so far. You know, you got Cleveland and Washington here. This is where I think Washington starts to play better. And they start to sneak in there. And hold on to that 6th seed. Now, if they don't win this game, they still hold on to the 6th seed because they've got 8-7-1. It's a weird situation, but it really doesn't matter all that much at the moment. Into the road, I think we're playing Washington second round. Realistically. Unless San Francisco knocks them out, which is highly, highly, highly possible. Because at the moment, this is the road it looks like for the 6th and 3rd seed. I don't think that's changing. I would highly doubt it if it did. Niners shut down the Oakland offense, and that's pretty much their calling card, is their offense right now. Their defense looks meh. You know what I mean? Not impressive. So, let's call that what it is. Alright, so the Jets beat the Seahawks out officially at that point. The 7-9, you know, they're not getting in. They're just not. Look at all these teams that are fighting in the NFC right now for a wild card. It's just, I don't see it. You know, with all due respect, I don't see it. If you're a Seattle fan. Vikings beat the Green Bay Packers and retain the number 1 seed. Now what that does is it knocks Philly down to the 2nd seed. Alright. We move on to the Chargers and the Rams. With Stafford out for the year, I'm picking the Chargers. I'm not impressed by the Rams' backup quarterback at all thus far. Alright, now this is a big one for the AFC picture here. This could possibly impact seeding. The Bengals and the Bills. Possible AFC Championship game? Divisional round matchup maybe? We'll see. I've got the Bengals winning that one. Bengals look tough today. I'm not even going to lie to you, man. The Bengals look like they could battle with Buffalo right now. Head to head. I do believe that Buffalo may end up on top of that matchup, but you never know. 50-50 on that. Alright, so let's come back to our division opponents here. This is the main event, folks, in Week 17. Ding ding, let's go. Alright, so, Saints and Eagles. Now, this is where the Saints are going to start humbling the Eagles. The Eagles think that they are hot stuff, but they're about to find out that they're not as hot as they think they are. Because when you look at Philadelphia's schedule so far, and I'm going to show you this. This might frustrate some people that are Eagles fans up in here, but you need to know this, folks. If you are going to correctly pick this game, you need to know this. Philadelphia, I got 2 words for you guys. Soft schedule. Soft schedule, alright? That Titans game impressed me a little bit. But, look at all these teams. Okay, you got the Lions in Week 1. This is before the Lions figured out how to start putting up a proper defense in Week 1. Yes, they've got the offense, but they don't have the defense. Not impressed. Okay? Lions. Then you got the Vikings. Okay, a 24-7 win there. But the Vikings haven't gotten started either. They didn't get started till down here. Doing what they're doing. Washington, again, they were not hot until like mid-season. Like week 7, 8, 9. So, not impressed. Jaguars, not impressed. Cardinals, not impressed. Cowboys, this is without Dak Prescott, not impressed. They beat the Steelers, who could not get past 20 points, not impressed. Texans game. Come on, it's the Texans. They're already eliminated from the playoffs. Are you impressed by that? No. Here's where Washington started to get hot, right around this time. And that's why they took an L. Because they finally realized, okay, the Eagles are not who they thought they were. That should have been a huge wake-up call for these guys. But no. Eagles fans kept going, oh, well, we have a one-loss team. We have a one-loss team. Okay, let's continue. Colts, are you impressed by that win? Come on, be real. They barely beat the Colts. Please. Dude, we could beat the Colts in our sleep right now. With Matt Ryan at the helm. Alright, Packers. Aaron Rodgers is trash right now. Let's call it what it is. Aaron Rodgers is playing like trash. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is trash. I'm saying he's playing like trash. Let me correct that. For all those Green Bay fans that I know are going to come in here and start yapping their mouths like y'all did with the San Francisco game three or 4 years ago. I know y'all do that stuff, man. Because I saw those comment section flooded, man. I didn't like that. Be respectful, 49ers fans. Y'all took my words out of context. Like y'all always do. Alright, but we're not going to go there. Alright, so a win over Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers not playing well. But still managed to put up 33 points. Okay, great. Titans game, now you're getting somewhere because you're beating Tannehill. But it's a weak Titans 7-4 record. So you're looking at a 35-10 win here. Not impressive. Look who else they have on their schedule. Giants, Bears. Giants again? Come on, that's 3 wins. That's 3 wins right there. Coming up. The Cowboys and Saints are about to humble these guys, man. I'm telling you. Watch and see what I'm telling you. With Dak Prescott at the helm, in that Cowboys defense playing the way they are, this is going to be a totally different Cowboys team than they played before. And it's not going to end the same way they think it will. This is why I'm looking at that Eagles schedule, man. And this is why I say the Saints will win that game. Now here's where it starts to matter with us. We beat the Buccaneers. Saints still have that division lead. But wait, we're just a game behind. Hey. Now, week 18. You got the Bills beating the Pats. Stay with me, y'all. This is a long journey, but it's worth it. All right. Bengals beat the Ravens. Lions beat the Packers for the first time in like forever in Lambeau. I don't even know what they call that field now. Do they still call it Lambeau Field? Or do they call it something else? I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's in Green Bay. Colts beat the Texans. One of their few wins this year. Let's go ahead and say the Titans beat the Jags again, sweeping them. Let's go ahead and say the Jets win this game over Miami, getting themselves put in the playoffs. We'll come back to these two games in a minute. Pittsburgh beats the Browns again. Even with Watson, they still win that game. Alright. Dallas beats Washington, retaining 2nd seed. Washington keeps 6th seed. And let's go with the Chargers in this particular situation against the Broncos. Chiefs, 49ers, Seahawks. None of that matters. Now, back to this. Eagles win. They are 5th seed. Now, here's where that matters. If we beat the Saints, guess who's back in 1st place, baby? Right where we belong. Okay, it's Lambeau still. I know a few of these stadiums changed their names, so I can't keep up with it. I don't keep up with most of that, but hey, Panthers beat the Saints week 18 to retain that lead right there. Retake it. Now, here's the beautiful part. Y'all watching this? This game doesn't matter. This is for 2nd place. And you know, that's actually for 3rd place, if you consider it. And Atlanta's going to win that game. Therefore, these are your final standings that I believe are the most realistic that are going to happen. Take a look at them. This is what's actually going to happen if we stay on this same path. Now, following this road, we play Philadelphia 1st round. We win this game. Then, San Francisco takes out Washington. We play San Francisco in San Fran. And I don't need to tell you the history of what happened in that building the last time we were in it. But it was not pretty. Most of you already know what happened. So we're not even going to go there. So let's continue on. Dallas beats the Giants. They play Minnesota for the 1st seed. Now here's where things get interesting, isn't it? Because which 2 teams did I mention that we were not ready for? One of these has to go. And one of them plays us. If we somehow get past San Fran and we find a way past that San Francisco defense, that's money. That's money right there. That's an NFC Championship appearance. I'm telling you, that is where the end of that road leads. And it's still looking magical. It really is. I can see it, dude. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I can see it. It's clear as day what's about to happen here. And there's a few games that have to go right for us. And I'll tell you which ones we got to root for going forward. And we are right on schedule. We are right on schedule, ladies and gentlemen. Week 14, going into week 14. This is after the Monday night game now. Let me point out the key games here. Tomorrow night's game is critical. It is absolutely critical. Okay? So, let me just go here. And let me show you what happens if Tampa wins this thing. Nothing. Would you look at that? The Saints are out of the picture. And we got a clear 1-game lead over the entire division. How about that one? Did y'all predict that or not? Come on now. That's beautiful. That's beautiful right there. With the record that we have, oh man. The trash is taking itself out in this division. That's essentially what's happening this year. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm appreciating every bit of it. We're taking advantage of a garbage NFC South this year. And the end of this road looks pretty nice, man. It looks pretty nice. Alright, so Bucks beat the Saints. We need to root for the Bucks on Monday night. Alright. Bucks on Monday night. Going into week 14. We need San Fran to beat the Bucks. That's the biggest game of that week. That's critical. Alright? We need the Vikings to beat the Lions in order to knock out the Lions. Now let's just assume the Lions win this thing. Chaos ensues. The Lions get in. And then let the dogs of war begin. Because if the Lions get in and all they need is a seat at the table, they can cause some serious havoc. They're going to have to get through Minnesota to do it. But if they can somehow pull it off, whew, that could be bad. That could be real bad. Considering we may not get past them the first time. So yes, Vikings over the Lions. Excuse me. I'm just tired, y'all. Hang with me. But yeah, that's a big game right there. So root for the Vikings next week. Root for the 49ers over the Bucks. We got teams to root for, folks. We got homework to do. You know what I mean? We ain't just rooting for ourselves anymore. This is to clear the pathway for us. For an NFC Championship appearance. Alright, what's the worst case scenario but still gets us in the playoffs? They scored 33 with their third string quarterback. Yeah, that's the scary thing, man. That's the scary thing. Thanks for giving us this late night stream. It's a little too optimistic, but I'm glad for the content. Yeah, man. You're welcome, Vietnam. Yeah, worst case scenario. I'm about to show you. If Dallas loses, any of these games coming up. Now, it could be... I don't think they're going to lose there. But what if they lose to the Eagles? That's an early playoff exit. That's bad. That's real bad. We don't want that. That's real bad. Now, say Atlanta beats Baltimore. That puts them in a tie for first. Which could happen, folks. It could. I'm not even going to lie to you. That could happen. But I don't think that Eagles team is going to beat Dallas. I don't think they will. Just call it a gut feeling. I don't think it's going to happen. Now, if let's say, okay, yeah, Dallas will beat Titans. That'll happen. Let's say Washington beats Dallas. You never know, right? You never know. Dallas may not show up in Week 18. They get their subs in. You know, they think they got a playoff spot locked up. Boom. They end up at 5th seed. That's bad. That's bad news, Bears. We do not want to play Dallas in the first round. We don't want that. Don't want that smoke. Not this early, man. You know, yeah, Dallas scored 54 tonight. Panthers never score 50. That I can remember. Yep. Vietnam, you got the right idea right now. You starting to see what I'm seeing right now. You starting to understand what I'm trying to show y'all. We don't want any of Dallas's smoke first round of the playoffs. Otherwise, we're done. But in any given Sunday, you never know. Washington might pull that off. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. It is Week 18. I've seen crazier stuff happen. Now, if the Bucks beat the Falcons in Week 18, that puts Atlanta in a very, very interesting situation here. Because you've got a 3-way tie for second place, but we've still got a 1-game lead. That would put Tampa in second, New Orleans in third, and Atlanta in last. Because of the games that they beat each other in. This is a really, really interesting year for the NFC South. I haven't seen anything like it. I'm going to be real with you. But let's assume Tom Brady doesn't find his mojo. And so far he hasn't. But the one thing I have learned is never to count Tom Brady out. You know, never completely count Tom Brady out. You can't. This dude is going to sneak up on you like a snake in the grass if you let him. So you have to assume that he's going to come out playing like he normally does. Every single Sunday. You have to assume that that he finds his mojo and he starts playing against you again. You cannot take that luxury into any of those Tampa Bay games and think, oh, well, Tampa's awful. You know, Tom Brady's playing like garbage. We got this game. You can't think that way. The mentality has to be, okay, Tom Brady is going to act like the GOAT that he is and start putting points on you at any given moment. So you have to be prepared for both scenarios, realistically. And it's going to be rough. I'm not going to lie to you. That Tampa game is going to be rough. You know, they've got some pass rushers, and they threw some heat at us last time. We're ready for them this time, though. When we face them in Week 17. But, again, do not underestimate Tom Brady. Or your butt is toast. And this is what I'm talking about. Tampa still has an average point spread of 18.2. 18.2. Now imagine this. Average points allowed, 18.5. So that defense is still playing well for Tampa. However, if we figure out a way to lower that number right there, which as of right now is 22.2 average points allowed, we're in the money. Our offensive rank is 30th according to ESPN. I think that's a little insulting, don't you? I honestly think that's a little insulting, considering the way Sam Darnold just played that game. And granted that was the Broncos. But, yeah, we did almost lose. That is true. And I'm trying to see what they rank the Broncos at. See, this is the third best defensive rank for the Broncos defense, and we found a way around it. If we can do that, we can find our way around the 49ers. This is why I'm saying, have faith. You know, San Francisco's got the number one right now. But it's that offense I'm worried about, the 10th ranked offense for San Francisco. Because they will find a way to poke holes in us, in our defense, and find a way around it. Average point score 23.5. Keep that in mind. That is what. Now, if that number goes down, we got a shot. If not, we'll see. San Francisco can score and we cannot. True. We have a few weeks to figure this out, folks. Not including the Lions game. Because, honestly, that's just a sample game for us. That Lions game is a dummy mission. Honestly. As Big Cat likes to put it. That Lions game looks like a dummy mission for this team. I don't think we can take it. But we are doggone sure gonna try. I think if we can somehow find a way around the Lions, we're ready for the playoffs. There's no question about it. If we can beat Seattle, we are ready to make our run for the playoffs. These are the paths that are ahead of us right now. And these wins have to happen specifically in this way for us to get this. Week 15. The Saints have to beat the Falcons. The Jets have to beat the Lions in order for the Lions to get knocked out. There's a couple ways the Lions could get knocked out. They need one loss, technically, to get knocked out. So that game may not be as important. But the key game coming up is the Falcons in Week 15. If they take that loss to the Saints, we're in business. We're straight up in business. Week 16. You know, we're looking at that Cowboys and Philly matchup, man. That's the big one for that week. I mean, there's a lot of things that have to go right here. And they will. It would be our first victory versus a team with a winning record. True, against Seattle. Correct. There's a lot of people saying, oh, well, Wilkes has not won against a quality opponent. Okay. Let me tell y'all something. Wilkes is taking advantage of a very weak NFC this year. A very weak NFC. It's not always about beating quality opponents. Sometimes you get soft schedules and you can just take advantage and cruise control your way to the playoffs. Sometimes that does happen late in the season. Based on how the rest of the NFC plays out. You don't know how it's going to go. Because a lot of different things can happen at any given time. Any given Sunday is what they say. And it's true this year. It is so true. God, it has never been more true this year. If I was trying to bet on games this year, oh God, I would lose some money. Oh yeah, I would. There ain't no way. There ain't no way I'm putting any money on any of these games. Not this year. Nope. 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 And I'm not a betting man. But I'm saying absolutely not. Because I'm going to be out $500. I'm telling y'all, I won't be able to stop. Once you get into that habit, man, it's bad. For anybody that has like a gambling addiction or something like that, man, that sucks. That seriously sucks. But yeah, I would not gamble on these games this year. Nope. Getting into the playoffs without really excelling versus really good teams will only get us embarrassed in the first round. Not if we're playing the Eagles. And let me remind you, our defense is ranked in the top 10. Like I said, we got a few weeks to figure out this offense. We've got the time to get ourselves straightened out. Be patient. And like I said, I need to see Sam Darnold against a quality opponent, which means Seattle, before I can make full judgments on whether we are getting into a playoff run mode or not. If Sam Darnold pulls it off and he plays well, and we don't need PJ, we got our two quarterbacks for this year. Forget Baker, man. Forget Baker. He ain't it. We already proved that. Baker is not it. Baker cannot light a candle to these two right now. And I mean, he had his shot. Let's be real. He had his shot. And he couldn't do it. He had his legitimate shot against a quality Ravens defense, and he failed. So I don't want to hear it from all the Baker people, man. I really don't. Y'all don't even talk about Baker no more. Baker's had his shot. This is Sam Darnold's show now. Can Sam Darnold prove that he can be that third quarterback for next year? In our second quarterback for this year. That's what we need to know from this Seattle game. So we got a week to prepare. From this point forward, we got a week to prepare. Now, knowing what we know about Sam Darnold and his film study ability, we're in the money. I got a feeling about this Seattle game. I'm telling y'all. I think we take it. Now taking this to the bank. If the Panthers make it to the playoffs, they will be destroyed in the first round. I completely disagree, Vietnam. Not if we play Philadelphia. Philadelphia is about to learn that they are not the team everybody thinks they are. They're about to learn real quick. In weeks 16 and 17. Against the Saints and the Cowboys. And those are quality opponents. If you can't beat either one of those, you don't belong past the first round. Point blank, period. You don't. And we beat the Saints already. So, we've proven ourselves. We deserve to be there. Now, how far we get, that's the question. That depends on seeding. And we got to have some help here. And I think we're going to get it. Sorry to ask, but can you humor me if the Lions sweep our last 5 games? Okay. Let's assume that the Lions win their last 5 games. Right? Now, you're going to see a win over the Jags for the Lions. That's going to happen already. Okay, if the Lions beat the Vikings, that happens. They sit in 7th seed. We still play Philadelphia. We're still okay. If the Lions beat the Jets, that's 6th seed. Okay. Which I don't see that happening because the Lions don't have a defense. Here's your proof. 32nd ranked defense. And I'm right on the mark. I've been telling y'all that. But let's just assume, right? Just for the heck of it, right? Lions beat us. Week 16. Lions beat the Bears. Week 17. And Lions beat Green Bay. That's where they end up. Now the Lions will be battling San Francisco if this should happen. We'll still be battling Philly. Minnesota will take out Washington. Minnesota will battle Dallas. in the divisional round. We will end up playing the winner of Detroit versus San Francisco in that scenario. Alright, we deserve to be where? In the playoffs? No way. We belong in the trash can just like our losing record says we do. No, we do not, Vietnam. Get that negativity out of here, man. Be positive. Be positive. Be positive. Yo. Let's see where our defense ranks right now. Let me show y'all where our defense ranks. 19th. 19th. Now, I've been telling you this is a top 10 defense. But we still have yet to stop the draw plays. That's number one problem on our defense. Number two, we got to keep people healthy. Because we don't have Dante Jackson out there anymore. So now we're dealing with CJ and we're dealing with Keith Taylor, who are both liabilities in coverage. So they are targeting those two players. And that is why you see a 19th ranked defense instead of a top 10. Now, I'm telling you that right now to say this. If we figure out our offense and we manage to figure out our coverage with CJ and Keith Taylor with safety over the top to help them out, then all that matters is just the D-line. That's the only problem we got left, is sealing up that D-line and make sure we fill our gaps and don't miss tackles. Fundamentals. Don't, stay at home when you see a possible run play. Stay at home if you see a situation where you think you might see a draw, where there's a high chance of it. Or a sweep play or a run play that could hurt us. When you start seeing that offensive line pull a certain direction, watch out. Don't fall for it. Go over there to the opposite side of where they are pulling and shut that down. That's what I need this D-line to start doing. They need to start filling these gaps because we have had too many holes once these O-lines have started pulling our defensive line. It's a problem. It's a major problem. I got $100 says we don't make the playoffs. Oh, wow. How's that for positive? Oh, come on, Vietnam. Come on, man. Don't do this. Don't do this, bro. Don't do this. After I just showed you what the path was, bro. I literally just showed you the path. And a lot of these teams could actually win the games that I am predicting. There's a high chance that these teams will win these games that I am predicting right here. And their pathway will give us a road, man. It gives us a road to the playoffs. The only loss that I see us taking is that Lions game. I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be straight up real with y'all. Because I'm real with you every day. Out of every calendar year. That's who I am. I have no reason to lie to you about what this team is and who we are. I have no reason to. I'm a Panthers YouTuber. Come on, man. I know what we're doing here, man. I know this team. I know what we're capable of and what we're not capable of. And I've been given advice on what these players should be looking at and what they should be doing and who they should be paying attention to, this, that, and the other, every week. And I'm very, very thankful and humbled that these players and this management are listening to what I've been saying and taking that to heart, and really and applying that to their game, because like I said, I only want the best for these guys, man, and to see the playoff path right in front of you, and not just say, "Oh, we've got a chance at the playoffs," but to actually see the path on this stream and understand what it takes for us to get there, and certain teams that need to lose in order to get there, really opens people's eyes, I think. I think, I would not be doing this if I didn't think there was a path, y'all. I would not be doing this stream. Legit, I would not be. And y'all know that. If I thought that it was better for us just to stop doing what we're doing right now, I would have said so. But I didn't. I didn't, did I? I've mapped this thing out, man. I'm telling you. I'm straight up telling you. I like what we're doing here, man. I like what this team is right now. And this is just year one. This is step 1 out of 3-year process for Steve Wilks. Once he gets that 3rd year, you're going to see the results on the scoreboard then. You're going to see it. Once we get this team built, and it don't matter where our draft pick is this year. It don't matter where it is next year. We're still going to draft well. We know what we want. We know what positions to fill. We know what players are good versus not as good. This is not the Matt Rule scouting department anymore. This is the Steve Wilks and Scott Fitterer scouting department now. This is totally different. Y'all remember that. Keep that in mind. They're off the chain, y'all. I got a lot of faith that things are going to go our way. I got a lot of faith that these certain teams that I think are going to win are going to win. Otherwise, I would not be saying what I'm saying right now. These teams are exhibiting certain patterns that are showing me that there's a high percentage that these teams are going to take these wins. That I think are going to take these wins. Alright, so keep that in mind, y'all. I do my homework on this stuff, man. I know these players. I know these teams. I know what we're dealing with. Now, consider this. We're only dealing with teams on this path that are predictable so far. That have patterns that are predictable. That we can do something about. And take advantage of. Now, the rest of those teams are unpredictable. And that's why they're not going to make it. We're not dealing with that. Teams like Washington, we're not going to have to deal with them. Shoot, man. There's a few others that are streaky. That we have no idea what they're going to do. We don't have to deal with the Giants. We don't have to deal with Seattle in that first round. We don't have to deal with with Tampa Bay sneaking up there with Tom Brady again, you know, shoot, man. If things continue to go well, we won't have to deal with those teams. So, we're going to do a live Zoom party, watch party, tomorrow night for that Saints and Buccaneers game. Because that's a big one. That's a big one on our path. And I believe that we have played well enough that we deserve a shot at the playoffs. I believe it. We have played like a top 10 defense the entire year. Now, the offense is what we got to figure out. We figure that out, we're in the money. There are very few teams that could battle us and win after we get that offense figured out. I still believe Dallas and the Vikings are two of them. We don't want to battle those two. Not at the stage we're in. We need more battle test before we face them. But we're getting there, man. We're getting there. I'm going to go through this chat. Vietnam says, I'm a realist. We just don't have the talent to compete. I got to disagree with that, actually. I think we do. I think that we have right now, the running backs that we have right now, the O-line looks good. You know, these quarterbacks don't have an excuse anymore, man. Either they pass or they fail. You can't blame it on the O-line anymore. That's not a crutch anymore this year. Since Wilkes took over and Bozeman got put in, no. You got no more crutch. You either pass or you fail. And Baker failed. Baker failed miserably, by the way. But Sam passed. He just took on a number 3 defense and won. Now consider there were a few banged up players on that number 3 defense, but they were still a number 3 defense. You kept that ball away from their famous corner, and we did well. You know? So, I mean, I feel like we got the talent. I feel like Steve Wilkes does too. He thinks the same way we do right now. And, Phantom, you say, I don't believe because they haven't gave me nothing to believe in. That's because it's not, just because it doesn't show up on the scoreboard, bro, doesn't mean that we're not advancing, bro. That we're not coming up with something big. The rest of these games and drafted a quarterback at the top of the draft, I would have something to believe in. Lock. Here's the problem with that. This draft class for the quarterbacks is weak. It is very, very weak. I'm not impressed with any of these guys, to be honest with you. Not even Will from Kentucky. And, I mean, the Panthers management really likes him, but I'm not impressed. So, realistically, we're looking for a franchise quarterback, you know. You're looking for the next Patrick Mahomes. You're looking for the next Aaron Rodgers type. You're not going to find it. Now, if you're looking for the next Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford type, then yeah, maybe. But not in this draft class. Nah. Nah, we need to sit on our 3 quarterbacks. We got Matt Corral, who's going to come off the IR. We got PJ. We know he's solid. And now we're testing out Sam. So that's 3 quarterbacks. We're okay. You know, if we really need to test out somebody, we can get somebody from the XFL. That's all we can afford right now, though. You know, that's the thing. I'm not impressed with CJ. I'm not impressed with Bryce Young. I'm not buying into either one of them at this point. I'm not buying into Will either. So realistically, the quarterbacks right now, it's rough, man. It's rough. So I mean, and I'm the biggest proponent of draft picks, y'all. I've been the biggest proponent of draft picks and where we land in the draft pick order since the beginning. Y'all know this if you've been paying attention to the forums before I even started streaming in turning this channel into what it is. Y'all already know this, alright? Because I was screaming through 2016 through 2019 that we needed certain draft picks. And we just kept winning games that we shouldn't win. You know, we kept losing games that we should win. You know, and it killed us, man. It drove me absolutely up the wall. And I'll extend that into Matt Rule's tenure. Again, you know, it's stupid. So yes, during that time period, I actually did agree with you, Vietnam, because we didn't have the proper coaching at the time. Right now, we are trying to install Steve Wilks as our head coach. And I know that the coaching staff Mr. Tepper wants an offensive-minded head coach. But I'm going to tell you right now, Steve Wilks is the guy. Steve Wilks is it. You're going to see it. You will see results very, very soon. And it's going to start with the Seattle game. It's going to really start with the Seattle game. It's going to get your eyes, man. It's going to get your attention. And I'm telling you, do not take your eye off the ball when it comes to this playoff race. Don't let that skepticism stop you. Number one, we're trying to get Steve Wilks as a head coach permanently. Number two, we're trying to get money flowing back into the franchise so we can get out of this cap debt that we're in again. Thanks to, guess who? Marty. Marty 2.0 that said, oh, we're not going to give these players big contracts. We're not going to do this and that, to get ourselves put in cap debt again. Guess what? Here we are with $930K in the red. Come on, man. I told y'all we shouldn't have hired this dude again. I told y'all. God almighty. I told y'all. During the Matt Rule era. And we fell for it. We fell for whatever nonsense he was saying. And we hired this dude and he gave these guys huge, massive contracts. Let me show y'all something. Ndamukong Suh. Now, I ran across this last week. Look at this contract. Think about how much money we got this year. And the Eagles just paid this man $1.6. Are you serious right now? $2 million. They just paid this man $2 million. And we looking for a defensive tackle right now? Man, please. What are we doing? We just gave up on the biggest defensive tackle pickup out there. When we have $9 million, $9.3 million to spend right now. with 5 weeks to go. Guys, it's easy. It's easy. That's an easy pickup. All we had to do was put the man on the phone. And we got $2 million for this man, right? For 1 year. Going into 23. God. This is smart right here. Why are we wasting time in a draft pick when we got the money right now to go after Sue? That's what makes me upset. Now, yes, this money does roll into next year. But look at this. You'd still have 7.3 left over that you could roll into next year. 7.3. That's still pretty good, right? Now, you think about the plan I came up with all the players that I'd like to see traded and cut, you know. Traded in packages, by the way, for draft picks. And you come out to a total of about $10 million after taking 17 out of it, right? For rookie contracts, $10 million, $7 million for injuries and stuff. Add the $7 million after you sign Sue this year, you got about that you can play around and re-sign people with. A high sign price? No, it's just 1 year contract on Sue. It's literally a 1 year contract for $2 million. I mean, it's easy, guys. Excuse me. Chubb just got an extension by the Dolphins. 5 years, $22 million per year. Okay. And the Jets signed Rimmers. I don't know what they were thinking when they re-signed Rimmers. That was dumb. Now here's the other one that's going to get everybody's goat. Y'all remember Jason Pierre-Paul? Look at that contract right there. That's the other one that frustrated the heck out of me. Now, if we got $9.6 million, why are we not getting Jason Pierre-Paul for a 1 year contract? Why did we not sign this man earlier? When we knew we needed a pass rusher and Gross Matos was not it. We knew we needed that. I mean, this is the stuff. When you see cheap contracts for $1 million, $2 million for 1 year, in two positions of need, really, really good players, by the way. Oh, and by the way, Jason Pierre-Paul got a pick on us, too. Because Baker was that bad. But still, Jason Pierre-Paul is not washed up. You could tell. Yeah, he's lost a step or two, but he ain't washed up completely. You can get a few years out of him. Why are we not signing these dudes to a 1 year contract? Oh my God. With both of them on board, you're still looking at $6-point-something million, right? That you're rolling over. It makes sense. It makes sense, man. I don't know what to tell you. You misclicked. It's all good, Walk Poppy. Don't worry about it. It's all good, buddy. Whatever message that was, Vietnam, just put it back up. Just type it back up if you, whatever it was. It's all good, buddy. We all make mistakes every once in a while, man. But yeah, let me go through this chat a little bit here. Oh, it was Pythons? Oh, okay. Yeah, Pythons, go ahead and put that back up in chat, whatever you were typing, man. Whatever that last message was that he just chopped off. Sorry about that on behalf of Locke. I didn't know he was going to do that. You know, he messed up. Let's see. Okay, look. Okay, y'all, look at the games from today and see the potential playoff game teams the way that they scored. Be honest, the Panthers struggle to score 21 on a great day. Heck, we cheer for first downs. We were ranked third. We were ranked last on third down and 30th in scoring offense. You and Lock Poppy, just remember what I'm telling you. If the Panthers could barely score 21 points in a game, how in the heck will we make it to the playoffs? Like I said, Sam Darnold is the answer to that question. He's the potential answer to that question. So is PJ. Now, think about this. Think about this. If PJ comes back and he has a ball out game just like he did before against the Seahawks, or Sam has a ball out game against the Seahawks, then you're going to come back and tell me, oh, we found our offense. We found our offense. Well, I've been trying to tell you. Sam just put up a really good performance against the number 3 Denver Broncos defense. And I don't know what more you need to convince you. You know, Sam had a great game. I can't argue with it. I mean, look at the Broncos defense today. It shut the Ravens down to under 10 points. I mean, we got them down to 13. That's what I'm trying to say, man. That Denver D is no joke. And we managed to get past them. I think we can handle it. I think we're ready on defense. Already, we're all set on defense. We got a few things that we got to fix, you know, but we're the best defense that we can be. You know, point blank, right now, without Dante, this is the best defense you're gonna get, and it's pretty doggone good. You can't argue with the results. Yeah, you would love to have Dante back. God, we would all love to have Dante back, but that's okay. That's all right. You know, that's what we got the safeties for. For these situations right here, you know. You know, you cover over the top, you handle your business, and you know, it's a wrap. Excuse me. If these D-lines can toughen up and win those trench battles and start closing up those gaps, dude, I mean, this could easily be a top 12 defense by the end of the year. Top 12. I'd say arguably top 10, even without Dante. And that's saying something, man. If we provide the proper over-the-top help, like we've been doing with Woods and Chin, yeah, man, ain't nothing but a thing. You know? Ain't nothing but a thing. You know, then it's just up to Sam Darnold to do what he does. We got the weapons, we got the line. What are we waiting for? Christmas? It's right around the corner. We're about to get an early Christmas present. I'm telling y'all right now. I'm telling y'all right now. You just saw the pathing. And even if we don't get in, I'd say we had a heck of a year with Steve Wilkes. You know what I mean? I'm not even going to complain. I have nothing to complain about at this point. Because Steve Wilkes has pulled a 180 on this team. And if people ain't seeing it yet, y'all just hating to hate. That's all I got to say. Y'all just hating to hate. You know? And it's the same people that hated on Cam Newton when he was playing well in 2015. It's the same people that hated on Steve Smith when he was rocking and rolling back in the day. You know, come on, man. Why y'all gotta be like that? Why y'all gotta be that way, man? These are legends. These are great people, man. Y'all just hating to hate. I don't... I mean, do I really need to go through the qualifications on why Steve Smith is the GOAT at 80, number 89, age 89? Do I really need to say, oh, well, do I really need to go through the reasons why the 2014 and 15 teams were amazing for the Panthers and why we made it to the playoffs, into the Super Bowl? No? Do I really need to unmask all of the ridiculous theories out there that Steve Wilkes is not it for us? No, I don't. No, I don't, man. Anybody that's been watching my streams already knows exactly why he belongs in that permanent seat. Every other coach out there that is a candidate is showing us exactly why they should not be hired. But Steve Wilkes is showing us every reason why he should. I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but what more do you need to see? Honestly, what more do you need to see? A win over Seattle should pretty much seal the deal. I don't know what more to say. What's our current cap space for next year? It is $923,000 in the red. So, like I said, man, if you move the proper players in trades, in trade packages, and cut the proper players that I'm suggesting, that could give us that money that we need to re-sign these players. It's not going to be easy. It's going to break some people's hearts, but you know what I mean? We got to do what we got to do to move forward as a franchise. And if we get offered 2 firsts again for Brian Burns, and we don't take it, I mean, I just, y'all, I don't know. No defensive end is worth quarterback picks value. I'm sorry, it's just illogical when you're talking about the trading values. It's illogical. That blows my mind. Based on everything I know about the trading values. Anyway, all I know is if the Lions beat the Panthers and you still go to the playoffs, I'll be a little salty. That might actually happen, Python. It might happen, bro. There's a path, bro. It's right there. It's right there in front of us. And I'm telling you, all of these wins that I'm talking about are realistic. I would not spend 2 hours on this if I didn't think it was. If I really did think this was a pipe dream, I would have gave up on this ghost a long time ago. Believe that. But no. The Panthers will make the playoffs. We will. We will, y'all. They... Matt. Look at this, Matt. We can beat the Saints. We can beat the Bucks. We can beat the Steelers. We can beat the Seahawks. The only team left is those pesky Lions, man. I'm telling you. Even with our offense being what it is right now, not fully fleshed out, we could beat 4 out of those 5 teams right now. Playing them right now. I'm telling you, bring them on. Bring them on. I ain't scared of none of these 4 teams. I am not scared of them. Bring them on. I'm honestly not expecting a playoff for the Lions due to who needs to win and lose. I'm crossing my fingers on hoping to make it through. Yeah, if you're a Detroit fan right now, like I said, man, you are hoping against hope. For a big Lions win over the Jets. If you can get that right there, that'll go a long way to your path of getting in. If you can get a win over the Vikings, that will go a long way to getting you in. Now, let's assume the Vikings win that. You would still get in, but you may or may not have control of your destiny at that point. But I'm betting the Vikings will win that one. But that win over the Jets, that's the one you got to get. You don't get that, you're done. That's the one, you know. Because you can beat the Jags. That's easy. You know, Jags ain't nothing but a thing. You know, Bears ain't nothing but a thing. You can beat the Bears. You could beat the Texans. Texans are out, man. They're trash. Let's call them what they are. They're trash. So, that's big, man. Lions needs the Commanders, Giants, Seahawks, and Falcons to lose enough games to advance. The Falcons will lose enough games. The Seahawks maybe. But the Giants, the Giants will probably lose. But Washington, though, that's the one. I don't think Washington's going to lose those games that you want them to lose. But the rest of those 3, oh yeah. Oh yeah. You won't have to worry about the Falcons. We already took care of them. We took care of them for you. Oh, y'all, if we had got that second win over the Falcons, imagine how sweet that would have been. We would have full control of our destiny right now. Right now, we wouldn't have to wait for the Falcons to lose another one. We would have full control over our destiny right now. That's why these wins are so crucial. That's why, DJ, you can't be doing stupid stuff like that stupid penalty that you did, whether you were on the field or not. You know, there's always that chance of a stupid, goofy referee that decides, oh, I'm going to flag this even though it's not a flag. You know, it's stupid stuff, man. Don't take that chance anymore, man. And I think he learned his lesson. That's what that costs us, man. We would have control of our destiny right now. And we can't go back and change that, but just think about it, man. One more Falcons loss. One more. One more, that's it. I'm trying to tell y'all. It's coming. That Falcons loss is coming. And it's coming in the form of the New Orleans Saints. Now see, if the Falcons win that game in Week 15, that's the one that's going to screw us. But if the Saints pull that off right there, that is the key game that could cost us a playoff spot. But imagine if the Ravens beat the Falcons in Week 16. And somehow those lowly Falcons managed to beat the Saints in Week 15. But they take the L against Baltimore. That's still their one loss. We are still in control. We're still in control, y'all. Make no mistake about it. But if those Saints win, yes, sir. That's money right there. That's a big one. I'd prefer if they took 3 losses. I really would. Because that gives us a game up on everybody in the division and secures our playoff spot. That locks it in. We needed either the Giants or the Commanders to win today to have a chance for us to having a winning tie if we're both 9-8 at the end of the season. Oh, you talking about the Lions, right? That's who you talking about, Python? Yeah. You talking about the Lions. And you needed Washington. The Giants or the Commanders to win. Ooh. But that tie cost y'all, man. Dang. Well. That is very interesting. But honestly, I think that Jets will take that game, and the Giants will get the tie and get in. You know, it is what it is. I honestly do believe that's going to happen. Unfortunately for y'all. Alright, so we need to root against Baltimore. We need to root for Baltimore in Week 16 against the Falcons. And the Saints in Week 15 against the Falcons. Alright? Those are the two teams we need to root for. Big time. Big time. Because what did I tell y'all a few weeks ago? I said the Falcons would be the team that directly impacts our opportunity to get to the playoffs. I told y'all that several times. And that was before I started running the playoffs machine. That's before I started running the scenarios. I told y'all it would be the Falcons. And I'm dead on again. I'm dead on target again, which is a good thing for us. I personally think you're underestimating the Lions on the Jets game. I don't know, man. I don't know. I saw the Jets play today against the Vikings, and they gave them a heck of a game. And the Vikings are supposedly the best team in the NFC right now. The best that we've got to offer this year. And while the Vikings do have a few Nixon's scratches, you know, in their secondary, they are still a very, very legitimate threat in the NFC and the entire NFL for a title. Make no mistake about that. So the Jets coming in and going toe-to-toe with the Vikings like they did. I was very impressed with both teams. They look real tough this year. The Jets are my dark horse in the AFC playoffs. They're absolutely my dark horse. If the Jets get in, they're gonna screw some. They're gonna cause some havoc. They're gonna cause some havoc. Y'all better hope the Jets don't get in. If you're an AFC favorite right now, y'all better hope. The only two teams that are safe in the AFC right now, I'll say three teams that are safe right now from an upset from the Jets, are KC, the Bengals, and maybe the Bills. The rest of y'all better watch your butts when the Jets come to town. I'm trying to tell you right now. Jets ain't no joke. So, matter of fact, the Jets are ranked number 4 defensively and ranked 17th offensively. Now, I don't know what's causing them not to be a top 10 ranked offense. That's my question. You know, why are they only digging 21 points right now? If they can answer that question, shoot. I would not want to be an AFC contender that's under those three teams. Nope. Nope. That's my dark horse AFC team this year. No question about it. So no, I'm not underestimating the Jets at all. Not at all. That's a tough defense right there. They got some playmakers. Y'all are going to be in for a game when you play them. Their quarterback is the reason their offense isn't succeeding. Oh, wow. So you're talking about Geno Smith, right? Yeah, I'll agree with that. Geno ain't it. Honestly, he's an average, above average quarterback that's really playing way over his head right now, and playing quite well over his head. I'll say that. Because I was watching him. I don't think the offensive line is the problem. No. They got a solid running game. They got solid wide receivers. So it's got to be Geno. Or the play calling. One of the two. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like I said, I've only seen one game of the Jets this year. So, they're not on our schedule, so I don't check them out. I don't have reason to. The Jets have White, Zach Wilson, and Zapp for their quarterbacks. Okay. I stand corrected. I apologize. I do get one wrong every once in a while, folks. It's 2:30 in the morning where I am right now, so I do get one wrong every once in a blue moon. Y'all forgive me. Like I said, I don't keep up with the Jets normally. This is the one year that the Jets are actually like slaughtering people, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? You know? Like, where did they get all these defensive players from? 2 words: the draft. And free agency. You know? So, good for their GM, man. That man knows what he's doing right now. I got credit. I gotta put credit where it's due. But yeah, Zach Wilson ain't it. Zappy ain't it. I mean, didn't the Patriots get rid of Zappy though? Didn't they have him in preseason and they just got rid of him? I usually don't pay attention to teams at all. That is the first year I've done depth for football. Yeah, man. We do depth around here, though. That's exactly what we do. We go deeper than the average, who's the starter for this game this week, We go a lot deeper around here, man. You've been around for a stream or two, That's how we do things. And speaking of which, I got rid of the grading system for the games. Do y'all want me to bring that back or no? Because I just remembered like this week that I kept for the last like 2 or 3 weeks I haven't put a grading system on these games for each position. So would y'all would you like me to bring it back or no? That's up to y'all. I'll leave that up to y'all. But yeah, grading scale of A to F. We do A minus, A plus, A minus. We do the pluses and minuses for each grade. So just in case you weren't aware. But yeah, that's our playoff path. I'm trying to be as optimistic as I can here, and I do believe that there is a way. It's going to be tricky. We gotta have a few of these teams help us out. But it is possible. And it's gotta happen in just the right way. And it will. I got a scope on these teams, man. I know what they're doing. I know what they're not doing. And I've got a scope on them, man. This ain't just random guessing here. Oh, okay. Zappy is still a Patriots guy. I don't know who the third quarterback for the Jets is. Yeah, I don't either, man. If you want me to look it up, I can. I'll go ahead and do that. Why not? Jets depth chart. Let's see. We'd be better off going to the main website. There you go. So the Jets have Mike White, Joe Flacco, who everybody knows who Joe Flacco is at this point, and Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, wasn't he the guy from Arkansas? No, BYU. Gotcha. Yep, I remember him. Yeah, 4 touchdowns, 5 picks. Yeah, he ain't it either, man. He ain't it. And, so it seems like the Jets have kind of a quarterback conundrum right now. You definitely don't want to trust Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco ain't it. I can tell you that right now. Joe Flacco ain't it. 5 touchdowns, 3 picks. 901 yards. Nope. He has not been it since week 3. and this man put up 2 interceptions during the game against the Bengals. Oof. Got sacked 4 times. Oh, man. 3 fumbles during that game. 2 of them lost. Those are not numbers you want to see. Not at all. And Zach had a large ego check after the Patriots game. He got benched. Yep. That is true. That is very true. And folks, just to remind you, the relevance of this right here is that Detroit Lions versus Jets game that's coming up. That's what the relevance is here. That's why we're spending a little bit of time on the Jets here. You know, because my man's in chat here is a Lions fan, so I don't mind doing that. But the Lions being in the playoffs disrupts us, so this is why this is important. Again, I wouldn't spend that much time on these guys if I didn't think so. Oh, y'all got four running backs. Excuse me. There's Braxton Berrios. And Berrios is a very, very interesting wide receiver. I actually was messing around with him in fantasy football this year. And actually last year. And he got me some points. He actually went off last year, man. I like him. Python says, I'm honestly expecting us to beat the Jets, lose to the Vikings, but both of them are very winnable for us. I don't know, man. I don't know. To me, I'm seeing something you guys aren't seeing on that one. I feel like you're gonna take 2 L's, man. That's just how I feel. And no disrespect to your Lions because you guys are playing hard this year too. You guys are playing like dogs out there. And like I said, if you win those games, victor goes to the spoils, man. The spoils go to the victor. You're probably going to beat us. That I can tell you right now. We cannot keep up offensively with you. Now, defensively, we're going to shut down your offense by about a fourth. By like 3/4 of that offense is going to get shut down. It's not going to go nowhere. That means we got a shot at beating you guys, but I doubt it's going to happen. Because once our defense finally does get tired in the fourth quarter, hands on hips, that's when your offense is going to start taking over and running circles around. Sorry about that, stream. So Python asked, what do you think you're shutting down on the Lions offense? Well, essentially, we're going to start with that running game because here's the thing. We have been very, very successful in the last few weeks at stopping the run game. And it's been due to the fact that we have really, really stepped up on our D-line. So it's going to force Goff to beat us in the air. Now, when you force Goff to beat us in the air, he can't run. He's not a running type of quarterback. So we can take that pressure off the edge unless you guys are running screens or like sweep plays or counter plays over there. Then we don't really need to put as much manpower over there to handle those types of plays. And we can focus that more towards helping out CJ and Keith Taylor out there at corner. On defense. No. Let me finish your first. Let me answer your first question, Python, because I'm not done. I'm not done, man. Once you take the pressure off of the screen plays and the counter plays and stuff like that, and you add like an extra man over there to help out CJ and Keith Taylor at corner, with the safety help over the top, that shuts down a good margin of the passing plays to that side of the field. Now, J.C. Horn's going to handle the other side. Then, that just leaves the linebackers. And Shaq has been bad in coverage, so you'll probably want to take advantage of that. But other than that, Damian Wilson hasn't really done much. He's just been run stopping support. Matt Ioannidis has had injury issues, so you could probably take advantage of that. If you're Jared Goff. But I mean, honestly, if we can get enough pressure, then it'll force some bad throws too. So like I said, we'll shut down about 3/4 of your offense, but it'll still start rearing its ugly head towards the fourth quarter. And it's going to be nasty. we'll probably give up about 14 points in that fourth quarter. Just due to the fact that our guys are that tired from playing like all 4 quarters, of just hardball, just trying to shut you guys down for that long. It's tough, man. It's tough. And I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think we could do it for 4 whole quarters. So, offensively is where we're going to have an issue. That's why we got to take advantage of that time while we have it on offense. We're not going to have much of it. So, yeah, your offense is ranked top 10. You're currently ranked 8th. That's correct. So the trick is trying to shut that defense down for as long as possible and try to get a lead during that time. And here's where the problem is. I trust our offensive line. I trust our wide receivers. I trust our running backs. I trust our game planning right now to a certain degree. The play calling to a certain degree has been fine, for a game manager type offense. To where we have managed to get down the field. It's a little better than that, actually, if you really look at it. So we can move down the field. Sam's proven that. So is PJ. It's more suited towards PJ because PJ is a game manager type quarterback. But, yeah, I can see where Sam is having some success with it. He's a bit of a game manager himself. So, I would classify him as more of a pocket quarterback than a game manager. But it is what it is. The thing I was not expecting from Sam in that last game was that deep ball. I did not think he had that in him. That adds a new dimension to his game. And that helps us. That's one thing I didn't think was... Because he was not developing that on tape. He was not showing that on tape before. For us. So that's interesting. Even so, I think even with PJ and Sam, I don't think we put up enough points to beat Detroit. I really don't think so. Because once Detroit starts rocking and rolling towards that start of the fourth, it's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad. And like I said, that's a healthy loss that we can take, on our path to the playoffs and not have to be that concerned about it. But if we could try to win it, man, we should absolutely try. By all means, if we can get that win, absolutely try to get it. It is hugely beneficial to us. And we're in playoff mode run here. We're on playoff run mode. We're not in tank mode anymore. We're in playoff mode. We're trying to get into the playoffs. So, I highly suggest we try to win that game. If we're the Panthers here, It's so beneficial to us. Dude. Like, honestly, that's what I see happening. There's a few different scenarios that could happen, like I said, but the Giants, let me see something. I need to see something. What was that? Steelers score from today. Yeah, see, 19. 19. The Steelers didn't break 20 again. This is exactly what I mean when I say this. You know, we could beat Pittsburgh. This is a pattern. They're continuing that pattern of not scoring more than 20. You know, Tampa is going to, again, not score more than 20 against the Saints, and they're going to lose. So, that tells me it's going to come down to Atlanta and New Orleans, schedule-wise, to help us out. You know, end of the day, both our teams are in the hunt, so exactly, man. Exactly. That's exactly it, man. You took the words right out of my mouth, bro. Like, you know, I got, yeah, I don't really have love for the Lions, but I don't hate them neither, you know. So I'm kind of neutral when it comes to Detroit. I'd love to see you guys like succeed in doing whatever you're doing, you know, because y'all have had such a horrible history of management. God, it's been awful. So I just really wish y'all the best. You know what I mean? You know, if you make it, you could be really disruptive in this playoff hunt. Very disruptive. But you got to get past Minnesota to do it. Or Dallas. And I don't see that happening. That's your NFC Championship game right there. Is whichever one wins that game right there. The Vikings and Dallas. Oh. Now, here's my question. Which one of these two would you rather play? Dallas or Minnesota? If you're looking at this Panthers team for what it is right now, and we fix our offense and we get that straightened out, you know, and we can go blow for blow with both of these teams, which one would you rather see us play against? That's my question for everybody. Because that's the end of the road, man. That legit is the end of the road. Whoever we end up playing is going to be one of those two. And Python says, I'd rather play Minnesota. I agree. I've seen some holes in that Minnesota defense, man. And I'm not seeing it in Dallas's. So, you know, balls to the wall, man. Now, I'll pose this question. Which one would you rather play right now? Philadelphia or would you play Dallas? Mr. Python, now that you answered that question, which one is your preference for us to play in that first round? Knowing what you know. Knowing that our offense is complete at that point. And again, we can go toe-to-toe with either one. Which one would you rather face? The answer's simple, folks. It's Philly. You know, if Philly thinks that, yeah, Philly because the Lions lost to a field goal to them then. Yeah. That's first week, though. That's first week. I mean, How good were y'all really in the first week, Detroit? How good were you? Be honest. You know, you're exactly the same spot you're at right now. You have like the best offense in the league, but the worst defense in the league. I mean, let's be real. So, frankly, Philly just took advantage of it because they got a pretty strong offense. I'll say that. Philly does have a pretty strong offense. I watched them work today. I watched them for a few drives. I kind of got a beat on them. A little bit. But their defense. Oh, their defense. Their defense ain't it. That is raw meat right there that we can take advantage of with Philadelphia. Y'all think I'm joking? Let me tell you all this, man. The Eagles. They say this defense of Phillies is ranked second. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I think top 15, but not second. I'm not buying it. Y'all only got those rankings because you played soft opponents, man. A soft schedule. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna look good on paper. You know, as far as like what opponents they faced. But it's not about what opponents, it's when you played said opponents. It matters when you played them. Too. And a lot of people miss that. They miss that little fine-tuned detail right there. Alright, so a case in point, the Titans. Case in point, Tennessee. What have they been doing the last 2 weeks? They just came off a big loss to the Eagles, to the Bengals here. So they put everything into that Bengals game, and they lost. They ain't got much left in the tank going to Philadelphia and trying to win a game like that. Oh man, nah. Tennessee's been streaky. Look at this garbage. I mean, you lose to the Giants, you lose big to the Bills. You beat the Raiders, whoop-de-doo. Nobody cares. You know, early on. Raiders were bottom of the barrel. Colts, not impressed. You get a win there. Washington, before they get hot, not impressed. Colts again, not impressed. Texans, not impressed. Now here's where I am impressed. You actually managed to get within 3 of the Chiefs. Now that's not an easy feat. So I got respect for the Titans on that one. You know, they managed to check Patrick Mahomes to 20 points. Not bad, Titans D. Not bad. But you still couldn't score enough to win. On to the Broncos. You know, you get easy win over them. Broncos D held you to 17 points. When you played a quality opponent, they hold you under 20 points. Imagine that. Things that make you go, okay. Another example of that is the Bengals game. You got 16 points on the board against the Bengals. But it's the Titans' defense that has kept them on the board thus far. But when that Titans defense put everything in the kitchen sink into that Bengals game trying to win that one, and it didn't work, then you're stuck with an empty tank of just exhausted and hurt players going into the Philly game. And that happened. 35-10. So, am I impressed? No. Am I surprised? No. Like I said, man, Philly is about to get a little bit of a humbling. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It wouldn't be the first time this year. And y'all can hold me to it. Feel free. If I'm wrong, y'all can hold me to it. I will let you. I'll be the first to eat that humble pie. I'll do it, man. I'll eat that crow. If the Eagles are better than I think they are, I will give them their due credit, and I will eat my crow. I don't think they are, though. And I think they got those rankings from Easy Schedule. That's what I think. So, again, let them come up and show it, man. I'm not scared of these guys. No, not at all. Not at all. This defense will shut that offense down. Lickety split. You ain't going to have to worry about that Eagles offense no more. Then it's just a matter of putting up points. And I think if we get that offense figured out by then, it ain't nothing but a thing. We can do it, man. We can get past these guys. I see a path, bro. I see a path, y'all. And my mind is made up. We are going for this playoff spot. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are playing for this playoff spot. So, each week, I need y'all to pay attention to the Facebook group page because I'm going to post exactly which teams we need to root for that week. Specifically, every week. I'm going to post it. I'm going to say it on stream, and then I'm going to post it. That way y'all know. Alright? And I know I got Lock Poppy in here directing the moderation. So what I'm going to do is each week I'm going to have him pay attention to what teams I'm posting. Because I'm going to message it to him too. So he knows. And every time y'all ask which teams we need to root for, on Saturday night streams, y'all are going to know because he's going to post it in chat. Every time somebody asks. Alright? I know that's a big ask of you, Lock Poppy, but I know you up to the task, man. I don't want to have to keep typing it in chat and keep answering that question. But I'm going to say it enough times I think you won't have to do it, bro. But yeah. That's a big one, man. That's a big one on Monday night. We need the Bucks to win. We need the Bucks to win to get our extra draft, our extra our 1-game lead, you know. Should that happen, man, I think it'll be crazy. And the Bucks defense is ranked 9th. That's what's interesting there. The Saints' road record is 1-4. Also very interesting. So I think if the Bucks can overcome these averages here of average points scored and average points allowed, keep that number low on average points allowed. It could be interesting. Could be interesting. You know what I mean? A Tampa win right there could shake things up. But frankly, if all goes well, it'll just be a tie for first with New Orleans. And we'll have the tiebreakers because we beat New Orleans in Week 18. Right there. That game right there. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But I think I've covered this pretty well, so... are there any questions? Any observations? Anything that you... Any players that you want to talk about? Now is the time to do that. I'm going to give you a couple minutes, and then I'm going to shut this stream down for the week. But keep an eye on the Facebook group page. Keep pounding for in-game posts, polls, opinions, and reactions to NFL news. Also, be sure to like and sub to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Leave a comment down below if you feel like doing so. No pressure. You don't have to do any of those things. I'm just asking. Just to boost up the channel, But that's up to y'all, man. If you want to do that, go for it. If you enjoyed the content here today that you saw. More coming. More coming. This is not one of our typical streams that we typically do. Because this is a bye week stream. We're kind of chilling out. I still got my Panther gear on. But, you don't see me with a uniform, a jersey on today, because it's bye week. But, it is what it is, man. But share the YouTube channel, please. Please, please, please. We're trying to get up to 500, man. We're about 9 away. And we want good people up in here, man. Not toxic ones, not chaotic ones, that are going to come up in chat and be pains in the rear end. We're looking for family members, man. Panthers family. Brothers and sisters, man. Family. That we can add to the crew. That are fams. And newcomers to the game as well. Anybody from any 32 teams, fan bases that want to come through here, come on in. Especially the newcomers to the game. Because I would love to be able to teach all of you. If you have questions, please do post them in the chat. I welcome it. I fully welcome it. And I would be more than happy to spend a few minutes of my time to answer your questions. No, I know we got a lot of content to get through, but I have zero issues doing that, man. You know, feel free to ask your questions. You know, don't be shy. This chat and this stream are all about trying to educate and trying to help out and trying to make things better for the franchise, for the Panthers, and you know, and for the youth. You know, and also if you're struggling with any kind of issues, you know, depression, any of that, you know, my PMs and DMs are wide open. Message me. I would be glad to help you out. Whenever I've got the time, I will listen and I will keep an open mind and an open heart, and I will keep everything you say in confidence. You know, so if you need my help, please do. Hit me up, man. My heart is open for y'all, man. I would love to be able to help out anybody that needs my help. That's what this platform is, man. I don't take it for granted at all. You know, it's a gift, you know? It truly is a gift to be able to reach out to this many people and do the good that I'm doing every day. And I'm so happy, man. I'm so blessed. Y'all have no idea. My heart is in this channel, man. It really is. And y'all have made this possible by doing what you do and being who you are. That's what's up, man. We're running for 3 years, man. And we running it well. We're doing everything right. We're doing everything how I intended for it to go. And I intended to get great people up in here in the crew. I intended to make everything as smooth as possible so y'all could listen. Y'all could voice your opinions, you know, ask questions, do whatever you need to do, you know. This YouTube channel is your platform, you know, to the franchise, to the players, to anybody, you know, in the Panthers organization, man. That's what we do. You know, if we can get some attention from them and get your questions answered, you know, that you couldn't get answered before, or get the attention of somebody, please do send them down here, man. We welcome them. You know, and I feel blessed to have the management's ears and eyes hearing what we have to say and legitimately trying to legitimately taking what we have to say in all seriousness and in complete confidence, you know, towards building what we want them to be. We all want this franchise to be built as, at the end of the day, a winning franchise. And to do that, you got to make some sacrifices. You got to do some stuff that you don't want to do sometimes. And it's tough, but it's a business. Also, it's to get there, you got to work hard. You got to show the determination. You got to win in the trenches. You got to do everything that is asked of you, you know, and really push. You know, be determined to overcome those odds, no matter what they are. You know, overcome those challenges every day, no matter what they are. Give 110% of yourself in every day, in everything that you do, towards making your life better and making your franchise better. You know, if you're a player, whether you're a fan, even if you're an owner, you know, of this team, That's what it takes, man. It's teamwork, it's hard work, it's determination, it's grit. Sometimes you got to take the heat when things don't go well. That's the price you got to pay sometimes. But if you know in your heart you are doing what is right by this franchise, and you know and can back it up with facts and evidence that you are putting your best foot forward for this franchise, I will listen to you all day long. All day long. You have my open ears. You know, sell me on it. If you got an idea for this franchise, sell me on it. I'm here for it, man. You know, pitch it to me. I'm a businessman. Pitch it to me. You know, I got open ears for anything. Just because I turned down one idea doesn't mean I'm going to turn down the next 500. You know? It don't, you know. Like Thomas Edison, man. You just got to find the one way that works. You find 500 ways not to make a light bulb. But you just got to find that one way that works. And that's what we're here for, man. We gonna go through God knows how many ideas. Like thousands of ideas to try to make this franchise better. And not all of them are going to work. And that's okay. That just means you learn from it. You learn what not to do. You know, you learn what didn't work. So when you start crossing out the things that don't work, you start narrowing it down until you find what does. And we are starting to build a formula right now. We're starting to build what works. And it's showing on the field, isn't it? Y'all are already seeing it with this defense right now. Wait till we get this offense figured out and we get some flesh on this stuff. Wait till we get some depth on this team, man. God almighty. Wait till we get some depth. This is going to be a terrifying team by the time we get done building it. I'm telling you right now, it's going to rival the team from 14 and 15. It's going to rival it. If you build it correctly, you get the right people. Sky's the limit. And yeah, we don't immediately have to go for a quarterback this year. That's not an immediate necessary push that we have to make. You know, but you know, if you find something better, you know, a left guard, maybe a quarter, maybe you like a certain quarterback. Fine. You know, first round. I got a feeling Levis will be around late picks. He'll be there. I got complete faith in that. If not, we just go for a left guard. And we sign Sam back for one more year. You know? Easy peasy, man. No problem. You ain't got to sign him until after the draft. You know, it's fine, bro. You ain't got to. Unless he becomes unless he becomes a free agent, then yeah. Then you would want to sign him right away. But if you do decide to go with Sam Darnold, then that means we're not drafting a quarterback. That means next available position would be left guard. And there's actually two players up there in the top 10. One of them could drop to around 15 to 20 range. It all depends. on what other teams pick up around that time. But if one of those two drops, I think we keep them on the radar. I'm not going to say which two players they are. I've already given you several hints. Panthers management. I'm not going to give no more. We got scouts coming through here. Alright? Yeah, I'm aware of y'all. Y'all trying to get some easy pickup hints from us. It ain't happening this year. Nah. I'm looking at them Georgia Bulldogs players, man. I like them Georgia Bulldogs players right now. You know? And that's the interesting thing. These guys are playing lights out, and I think you might be able to get one of these people, man. I mean, that's who's winning championships these days, you know? You go with the hot hand. Whoever's doing work, man, in the first round. Go for it. If you got a need for that position, go for it. You know, don't wait. Don't collect $200. Just go for it. That's what it takes, man. That's what it takes. We're going to be sitting in that bottom third of the draft every year from here on out. I'm just telling y'all right now. If you hire Steve Wilks, we will be sitting in that top third. That bottom third of that draft every year. 15 to, you know, somewhere in between 20 and 32 range. Every year is where we're going to be. Keep doubting it. Keep doubting it. All you haters out there, keep doubting it. Yeah, we see you. We see you. No. No, we're not going to lay down again. That's not this team anymore. That is not who this team is anymore. That's not what we do anymore. This is a different team. And at the end of the day, man, you're going to respect us. Because we're going to force you to respect us by earning these wins. Watch what I'm telling y'all. The Seattle game's a wrap, man. That's a dub. We coming up on it. Saturday night, we doing a stream. Be there. Because we're covering all of it. We're covering all of it. And I'm not doing this again. As far as like predictions wise. Until after that Sunday stream. Okay? We'll do a short 2-hour stream during the middle of the week next week where we talk about what changed. We're going to revisit this chart. Yeah, after the Seattle game. And we're going to see what changed. For on Sunday, today was Philadelphia beating the Titans. Yes. The other one was the Steelers beating the Falcons. That happened. Alright, that happened. That's one of their two losses. And then the Bucks beating the Saints on Monday night. That's this week's focus. Next week will take care of itself. Alright? We focus on this week. I got a feeling we're gonna find our prize, man. We're gonna find that. We're gonna find that fourth seed in the playoffs. I got a feeling, man. Doubt me all you want, but I got a feeling. Alright, guys, I'm about to head out of here, man. It's been fun. It's been real. Appreciate y'all kicking it with us, man. And hanging out, man. Shout out to Vietnam, Lock Poppy, The Real Zero Chill, QT0. And Python Knight. Shout out to all y'all, man, that were in the chat today. Shout out to all the new members and all the new subscribers. Shout out to all y'all, man. Thank you very much. Welcome. Hope you guys enjoy what you see here. And continue to stick around. Like I said, everything here is free. That's how we do. You know, education is free here. That's what I believe in. That's what I'm going to keep believing in. Yeah, I don't believe in charging y'all a dime for the information I'm giving you. Because that's how much I love this organization. That's how much confidence I have in y'all. To keep it a buck, man. You know? And to be real and to come up with some meaningful discussions. And y'all have for 3 years now. And I'm proud of y'all, man. Thank you. Thank you for making this channel what it is. I wouldn't be doing this without you. For real. Y'all some real ones. Especially the ones that stick around for the night crew, man. You know, the third shifters, man. You know. Y'all some real ones. Real talk, man. I'm going to try to do I'm going to try to do a couple of morning streams, but I can't promise anything, you know. Like I said, I'm about to settle into a schedule where I got to work, you know. You know, I could be flexible. I could throw a stream in every once in a blue moon in the morning for a couple hours, but that's about all I could do, really. But scheduling wise, man, it's gonna be interesting coming up. But these streams that are late night streams, man, they gonna keep popping off just the way they are on Saturday nights and Sunday nights, exactly how you see them. We'll see about changing the time to a little earlier. Because that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to get these streams a little earlier. But I can't manage to do it because of all the stuff I got to do. You know, so it is what it is. But, yeah, man. Y'all asked for the stream. I gave it to you. You know, I gave y'all a poll. Y'all voted in it. And I gave it to you. Give the people what they want, you know? Give the people what they ask for. Power to the people, man. Also, I've heard that Floyd Mayweather might want to be an owner here, man. Um, Tepper is going to be in a lot of trouble with an investigation if it turns out to be legitimate. We don't know for sure. But again, could be real, could be a bunch of media fluff. We don't know. I mean, I just heard about it today, so we'll find out if it's real or not. And there was one other thing. Matt Rule talking out of his wazoo again. And it's amazing to me how much this man can still lie, even while trying to clear his name. It's amazing to me. I don't understand it. He still wants to talk trash about us. And he's not even here no more, man. He's a Nebraska Cornhuskers head coach now. Why do you care? Like, why do you care, man? You lost the fans. You're not getting them back, bro. You're not getting them back. You been lost us, man. You lost us a long time ago. I don't know what you're trying to clear your name from. It ain't gonna work. I don't know who you're trying to fool right now, Matt Rule. I really don't. We got this man trying to say he did not control the draft picks at all. Man, that's a load of garbage. Okay. How about we pull up that video from what was it? What was that? Hard Knocks, right? I think it was Hard Knocks or something like that we were on this year. Panthers video, official video on their official page during draft prep. There's a small clip on there showing you, yes, you, Matt Rule. No, you weren't replaced by an alien. It was you in that video outlaying what picks we were going to pick up and who we were looking at. So don't lie. Don't lie to us. Man, if anybody buys that nonsense, man, come on. Just stop. Just stop. Look, man, just stop. We caught him in another lie, too. Now, I forget what it was. Oh, the locker room. Yeah, we caught him in the lie about the locker room, too. Here's the thing, Matt. Newsflash, you can't lose what you never had. You can't lose what you never had, bro. You never had control of that locker room. You were just delusional enough to think you did. Half this team didn't care about you, bro. Half this team did not care. They were just here for a paycheck. The other half does care, you know, and they legit wanted to win games. Here, man. And that ain't no way to run a team, man. No. That ain't how we do things in Carolina. And you know it. That has never been the way we do things in Carolina. At all. So yeah, news flash, you never had control of that locker room. Get your delusional butt down to Nebraska, man. We done with you. We done with you. I've spent enough time giving you enough publicity, man. Your 15 minutes of fame. You don't need no more. Just stop. Matter of fact, I'm stopping right now, man. Positive thinking. Positive thinking. This team's going to make the playoffs. We got a road. Let's go do it, man. We got to stay savage, man. We got to stay savage. That's who we are, man. This team is savage. We're a bunch of savages on the field, man. We're about to get that dub against Seattle. Come on.
What?
Let's go get it, man. I believe in each and every one of y'all. You know, I know who all y'all are. Don't ever be afraid to show that. And don't lose who you are while trying to win. You know, and we haven't. We haven't sacrificed that. I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of you for the successes that you've had so far. I'm proud of you for who you people are, man. All of us. All of us, man. Together, I'm proud of all of us. We're fighting a good fight. We're putting 110% into this team. And we're going to win. Man. Keep pounding, baby. That's all I got left to say is keep pounding. Keep pounding. Peace, y'all. See you Saturday night.